Hello friends, Techman Pat here. We are in a spare room. It's a little bit echoey and it's a different video today. It's not as techy as usual. It's more on the furniture side. But since we've checked out gaming chairs, I thought it'd be worthwhile checking out a working desk, maybe something a bit more sophisticated. Well, the guys at Recess reached out to send this desk for review. Now, this desk is a height adjustable desk for those folk who work at home and I guess don't want to continue sitting in a chair for most of the day. You can pop out, turn it on and adjust the height. So what we're going to do today, we're going to put it together, then we're going to do a quick review of the build quality and answer the question, is it worthwhile? Is it worth your money of $825? This is the smaller version. The other one goes for
$965.
There is $100 off on the website at the moment, so I guess the price can be adjusted. And is it actually good quality? That's probably the most important one. So let's find out what you need to know to make a decision if this Recess stand-up desk is going to be in your wish list, Christmas list. Christmas is a bit far away, but what's not far away is the intro. Let's roll it. All right, I've got my work gear. I'm ready to not drop anything on my toes. I'm gonna start with the actual box with the feet and the legs because I kind of want to leave this to last to give you a bit of an impression of what the top table is like. Because at the end of the day, that's probably the most important part, how it looks, how it feels, and we'll have a look at that in a moment. But obviously, the feet, they need to be stable. And one of the things I found with a height adjustable table I used to have is that the legs were a bit wobbly, and we'll see if this one is like that. Now, my wife is now working from home, so this is an area where she'll have a little mini office, and so this is gonna be set up nicely for her. So let's get unboxing and let's get building. This came to a very heavy box, 32.75 kilograms. That's massive, so I'm hoping that means quality. They should be metal legs, definitely not plastic. At the end of the day, there is also a motor that runs this whole thing. Nice solid cover. These are the legs we have. Stand-up desk. Is there any instructions? There's a QR code for any contact information. I guess people know how to use QR codes nowadays. First impression is, this is extremely heavy. I don't know how to measure that right now, but very solid feeling.
Here we have the control box, the cables, and the control console for the desk movement.
So we're gonna start with the feet and the legs here. These are the legs and that's the feet there and there. It does actually say to take out the tabletop on the instructions, because I read them apparently, and adjust this little bit onto it. We're gonna leave that to a little bit later. We're gonna put the legs together first because I do wanna spend a little bit of time looking at the tabletop. The first thing I have to notice is these right here. It looks to be two actual motors. Now, most of the desks I've seen in the past have had one motor that had a bar going through the middle that would push up the legs. So my first impression, amazing that we have two actual motors on each leg to push up the table, meaning that not only will it be more powerful and gentle going up, but it'll last a lot longer. Imagine the weight of the table, your computer, your laptop, your monitor. You want to make sure that the motors are actually running equally when they go up and not struggling to push the whole table up. So this is a very impressive thing to see. And just from the get-go, we can see that we've got obviously up and down, but we've also got some settings to remember in the memory of which table size you want. So instead of having to try and figure out what size you were yesterday on the high side or the low, you just save it to memory and it'll move to the right one. This is very thick metal. These are not cheap legs. The paint is really nice. It's not matte. Well, it is a little bit matte, but it is also a little bit shiny. It might get dusty, I don't know, but they look very, very nice. And to be honest, it does not feel like any scratches can happen. It seems like the paint has been nice and thickly coated and it's very hard paint. Tabletop time. And we have nice corner padding on the sides here, so I don't expect any damage. It looks pretty good. And we have the tabletop. Oh, look at that. It looks very, very nice. We've got some pre-drilled holes, so I'm really happy to see that. And I have specifically put this on the upside because I wanted to see the bottom, because we have to put this bit on here and adjust it to fit. So apparently this is supposed to align with the holes here, and then
we're going to tighten down these bolts right here to make sure that it's going to hold nicely.
Just want to share this up close. You can see the little holes there. We've tightened the bolts, and you can see this is the cable area where you can hide your cables through. So that's going to be right at the back. So we know that the back of the table is here, and we've got these pre-drilled holes for all the bits and pieces that we need to mount here, which is really, really good. And so far, this table feels really, really nice. It's hardwood. It's not empty on the inside. So far, so good. We're going to see the top in a second. All right, now that the feet are on and obviously the legs and this little bit at the bottom is aligned with the table, we're actually gonna flip it around and we're gonna put those bits right there on the bottom that screw into the table bottom. So let's flip it and let's put those screws in. Okay, now that we've done the T-sections, 1, 2, we can flip this on the other side. But before we do that, we have to put these little rubber grommets inside here. So we'll do that, but I just have to mention how heavy this table is. What it makes me feel like is that it's a very solid table, and there's no bar in between for the motor, which is great. It's 2 separate motors in each leg. Fantastic. Okay, there you have it. It is now fully secured into the tabletop. Now, some of these didn't align properly, so I actually had to undo this bit. So the instructions were a little bit strange. It asked you to do this first, but I think you should leave this till last. Once you have these aligned, then you can tighten them on. So loosen them up, put it all on, and then do that. Okay, we've drilled in everything and we've got the control box here. We've got the buttons. And now we're going to do a fiddle around with the cables. Now the cool thing is that they've given us a few bits to organize this.
And we've got the little controller here to the control box, so we want to run it through here. I want to hide all the cables inside here. I don't want anything dangling, so first things first, let's start with the easy one. This one goes right here. And the other thing I wanted to say is the control box, I've put it this way because the first connection is actually right here. So the power goes out there, so if you flip it, it'll be obviously the other way around, and the M1 will be on this side. So this should be a better way to put it if the control box has the power on this side.
Cable has been managed. We've got the controller box here connected all up with the power and nicely hidden underneath in this gap. There's only a few cables going over, and you could even put another little bit here to tighten that down so nothing hits it. We might actually do that.
All right, there we have it, folks. The table is in. This is the smaller version, but that's okay because it is in a smaller room. We're gonna nicely flesh this out with a laptop and a screen. Friends, let me start with I'm very jealous of this table. It's certainly not what I have in my other room. It's something I built out of Bunnings parts, so it's not flash, but it does the job, but it's pretty damaged already, so maybe I'll get to swap it out to something like this in the future. But let's start with the awesome bits. This tabletop is fantastic. I love the quality of it. I love this edge right here, that it's not square, it is kind of tilted off to the side. It's really nice. It means you can get under here and you can sit nicely at the actual computer, which is fantastic. I really, really like it. Actually, my wife loves this already. She's only spent a few minutes on it, so I'm very impressed. There is plenty of space on this smaller one, but I would suggest if you've got more than this, to get the bigger one. Now, the mechanisms of this going up and down is incredible. There are 2 motors on each leg, and I've talked about those motors a lot, but it means that they are much quieter and very powerful. Now the control set over here on the right hand side has the memory of 1, 2, 4. Now I don't see any point for 3 and 4. 1 and 2 basically standing and sitting, and other than that 3 and 4 I'm not sure what I'd use it for. So on number 1 we have this height, and when I press number 2 it will navigate itself to the standing height for my wife, and underneath is where I would say the downside is. It doesn't come with any cage to have those cables under there, sort of nicely tucked under. So that's something I'll be adding on later on myself. And I think if there's any improvement to be made to this actual desk is that cage. Now, The screen itself on the side shows you how many centimeters it's going up, but with the memory it's kind of redundant because you set it to the one you want and you don't have to really worry about it. But it's a nice inclusion, it makes it look very, very fancy. Another standout feature is the cable management. It's really nice, it's really clean, and it is metal, it's not plastic as with some other brands. It pops up to the back and to the front, so you can hide, for example, your monitor cables around the back and the keyboard bits and pieces to your laptop or computer right through the center. If you have a table like this and you want to make it look cleaner, I would suggest obviously wireless everything. I know monitors can't be wireless, but you can get that HDMI cable very thin, so you can get that in there. But wireless keyboard, wireless mouse is the way to go with these really nice tables to keep it really clean. Stability wise, this is an incredibly stable table. Very cool. I would say that the legs and the way it's constructed is just really, really good. There's no bar in between, but somehow it doesn't wobble from side to side. You can lean on it and it doesn't topple or wobble, and all my past desks have had that happen to it. So this is really good. So price, $825. This is a smaller desk. The only difference is that tabletop. There is a $100 discount at the moment, so it makes this $725. Price-wise, I don't think it's bad compared to other tables, but having actually used it, this is probably the most solid table I have for a long time. I've used a $1,500 stand-up desk from a business company who said this is for office workers, so it's solid, it's great, and lasts a long time, and it didn't. It was very wobbly, it had one motor that was really, really loud, and it didn't have all the features that I had, and that was $1,500. So I'm comparing it to what they would say business grade. This is for those working from home, and you are getting a much better quality product than you would be if you go through business grade. So this is, to me, business grade. It's incredibly solid, and I'm so impressed. Yes, the price is high, but at the end of the day, it's also a tax offset or write-off, whatever you might want to call it. And sometimes your business will pay for it if you're working from home. If you're getting this desk just for yourself, I think it's a great investment because it feels like it will last a long time. The edges are very smooth. There was no damage when it arrived. It was very well packaged. Yes, it's expensive, but it is got more metal than I've ever seen in a desk like this. Even just standard desks that you buy from any other office shop, this has much more metal and is higher quality. So friends, thank you very much for watching. Links below where you can get this recessed table and the bigger one. There are so many different colors to choose from. It's really, really nice. This is nice, clean oak and white. And of course, big thanks to Recess for sending me this table for review. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed videos like this. I'll catch you all in another one. Bye.